I'm gonna go into finishing the water, or maybe I'll do this water and the piling. Look at my photo. All right, I'll work on the piling. See, the piling's really dark too. Like, I really want to use my black pencils, but you might not have them, and I want to use what you're using. So let me just switch to the number 2. 2B, 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 2B. 2B or not 2B? Okay, here's my 2B. This goes right down here. And I have some rings of, see how I didn't push hard? I just did lots of passes with that to make that knot. I have a light spot here, so I'm going to use that as the knot in the wood. I'm going to switch pencils. I feel like I just can't get dark enough with the 2, but I'm tempted to use it in case that's all you're using. I want to show you that you can do this with just that pencil. Okay. And this, like the dock, has lines in it also, but they're vertical. Not stripes. It doesn't have vertical stripes down the whole thing. It just has like some cracks and different lines here and there. And it's more continuous in color than the dock is. So now I'm just doing little circles to fill in all those divots. And maybe I'll use my paper blender that I made, or I'll just make another one. Just rip a piece of paper, and then the feathered torn edge you just kind of shape into a something that you can rub this with. Okay. So now that I've smoothed all my color, now I need to go in with darks and a cylinder, this cylinder in this picture. I blended that too far. Okay. It's darker here. And it gets lighter and then darker here. I have to use my dark pencil. I'm sorry. I have it and I feel like I need to use it. Okay. This is kind of like a cone shape. And then this is all dark. And this needs to be quite darker. But this middle part needs to be the darkest. Okay. I need a more defined edge, it looks like. Okay. And I go to the piling on the right. Doing 4B. And do a couple more layers here to make it dark. Doing little circles here to make this part of the piling dark. Some more here. Like, I think I definitely overworked that piling on the left because I went too dark. So then that's why I had to go to the black pencil to make the darks even darker because I made the piling too dark. All right, I'm gonna take my little paper. I'm just rubbing the dark areas like that. And then I'll get a clean section and then do the whites. Okay. If you want these black pencils, just go to the link in the comments and it'll open up the store and you'll have a discount price through the link I gave you. So once you get to the store, you can type in Lumograph black and find these awesome pencils that I love. They're really good for darks. All right, and then we have some cracks. And in the photograph, there's rope here, so I'm just making it more piling. All right, maybe I'll make that around the piling. Does that make sense, like the other side? Doesn't look as good as the other side came out. And you know why it didn't come out as good as the other side? Because I'm making it up. Because there's really an electrical cord in the picture that I'm leaving out. So now I'm looking at the whole picture again, and I'm going to tackle the water. So looking at the photograph of the water, I feel like I need to do more to this board right here. All right, water. When I look at the water, I'm going to go with my harder pencils, so back to the H's. 2H, 3H. It looks like there's shapes that just kind of swivel, and there are more of them, and they get bigger as they're at the bottom of this. Don't make them stop. Like, make sure you have some that look like they go under the dock as well. Don't just have them out here. You're going to have some that go out of the dock. And wait, I'm also noticing that they start to go downward, not just across. They can go off the page too. Go right off the page. Draw on your table if you need to. I give you permission. Okay. I'm not really copying exactly what the photo does. I'm just making random shapes that look like those. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the 2B, which is like a number 2 pencil. And when I zoom in on the picture, there's white-ish then there's light gray of these things, and then there's some dark ones. So now I am referencing the pictures to see like exactly what these dark ones are doing. And back here, they just look like dots, right? And then those dots get bigger and kind of turn into lines. Just moving the pencil around, touching it down here and there to make these darker shapes. And then once we get up close, there's like some big shapes. So I'm gonna make all these like bigger shapes. I'm gonna really zoom in to see what these shapes look like, if they have anything in common with each other. All right, so what they look like is it's like a swerve, and then you fill in the areas that are up. Let me show you close up. It looks like you choose a line, and then wherever you have these bumps, you kind of fill in. So you have an area, and then a line, and then an area, and then a line. It looks like they're kind of all like that. So just make wavy lines and add an oval shape to the bottom of it, or a curvy shape. And they're all kind of going, they need to go in the same direction. They all kind of go downward. And then as I get further out, they start to go out. They start to go more horizontal. And add some little ones in between. And there's some that like are a nice big shape. And then some are just quiet little dots. And the shapes, the texture of these shapes are going to be way different than the dock, because the dock has the horizontal lines. So when I show you this far away, now I'm just going to softly go with my very light pencil and color the whole thing in to kind of smooth it out. So it's not so contrasty, because in the front it doesn't look that contrasty. It gets more contrasty as it goes back into the background. Shapes. And then they go into lines back here. I'm using a softer touch to this pencil. All right, I'm going to zoom out so to see if it looks like it looks too spotty to me. I need some longer ones. I'm comparing it to the photograph, and there are some like pretty big ones. Let's put this big one here, and within that big one there's lighter ones. Make sure they go right off the paper. This does not look good to me. Maybe I should have looked more at the picture instead of making so much up. Let's get this rope shaded. I'm just trying to make some longer lines like we have in the photo. Oh, there's so many different color spots as it gets further away. There's like whites and light grays and then a couple dark ones. Some dark spots, some longer lines. Just making soft random lines. Make sure they go all the way behind your piling. You can't end them here. You have to kind of go through and on each side of the piling. Using the 4B, just touching as lightly as I can right now. And I'm making long, soft gray lines. Can you see? Go right to the piling and then come out the other side. I feel like this one's too long for way back there, so I might be breaking that up with the eraser or something. And then we do have some dots that are dark. And then in the distance, really just tiny fluttering light gray dots. They don't get very dark back there, so let me switch to a 2B. Just bopping the pencil up and down. I'm doing this along the paper. Okay, and then just shade some in. Okay. These darker marks are just like the boards. As it gets further away, they're like less and less noticeable. I'm gonna sharpen again because my point is not very sharp. Okay, and I'll leave that about like that. Do some darker ones in here. And now I'm gonna go to the other side. And with the other side, I'm just going to try to match what I did over here. So about here is where my dark ones are bigger from here down. Remember to do some against your dock. Some thin ones and some thick ones. And then they're kind of thin and then get wider and then go thin again. That's what I'm seeing when I look at the ones that are in the picture. And they're so close together. All the way up to the middle of this piling, they're pretty close together. Okay. And then I'm going to do a couple that are very dark with the 8B. I'm just going to darken in some of the ones I already did that are going to make them a little darker. And then go back to the 2B, which is like a number 2, and just draw horizontal lines, like kind of like I was with the dock. And then go into, don't forget this spot. You got to start doing all this. There's a little choppy. It was probably a little cool and windy. And these ones I'm seeing all the way to the back. Real, just tiny dots, right? I feel like I'm doing like Morse code. Don't forget the spot. That last board dark so you really see the end of the dock compared to the water. Going right over that piling because this pencil's so light. You don't want this. Do you see how it looks like my water isn't the same here as it is here? I need to make it look like it's the same. I must have like erased there earlier or something. Okay. That's it. Now I gotta do her crazy hair that I've been putting off. And I'm still putting it off. Okay, let's tackle this hair, shall we? There's the water. That looks nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go in with my 8B that's really dark just to do a couple very dark ones. Okay. All right. I'm glowing around my dock because I didn't bring the water into the dock. Okay. There's some really dark areas of water that are like much darker than the dock. All right, I'm gonna stop playing with the water right now. And I'm gonna start with the lightest pencil on her hair, which is my 3H. And let's really look at this hair.